Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
And we hope everybody is doing well out there.
Absolutely. It's kind of a, I don't know, a grim day, but it's nice. It's so.
It's been a great cloudy day, but it's not freezing, so that's good.
Yes, that's good.
And there's been sporadic storms going through. Want to thank our Patreons again, because we couldn't do it without you guys supporting the channel. Also, as always, we want to encourage people to check out Medicinal Foods. There's a link at the very top of every video page, and use the coupon code EEA and save some money on some products that could help boost the immune system as well as taste good, just give you some more energy overall, help us with purification, detoxing in these times, which is so important.
Super important.
Absolutely. And then do check out evolutionaryenergyarts.com as well, so you can learn more about us and other things that we do besides make videos. So we see Kazakhstan unrest. At least 164 people were killed in this crackdown on protest. So say the reports, thousands actually arrested, as many as 6,000 from what they're saying. Now they say that this was all about discontent over basically inflation and fuel prices, a lot more going on behind the surface. Several of our family members sent us a couple of videos that talk about this being something very, very different. Very, very different than what we're seeing on the headlines. One thing that's for sure is, there was a lot of damage done, as you're looking here at some of the damage that was done.
People are fed up.
Yeah, and we have a message we're going to share from the guides about this. And, it's pretty self-evident, too. Really, there's only so much people can take till they hit a breaking point. And everybody's breaking point is a little different. Now, it's interesting to see all the stuff coming out. And we always see it every day in the comments, because there'll be comments made where somebody will say, well, this is what's really going on, because they heard it from one source and they're just jiving with it. They're resonating with it. So, their mind is kind of made up, and this is what's going on in their mind. And that happens all the time. We see this. It's all about belief systems, is it not?
Absolutely. Our belief system is critical. It's so important. I say it's our foundation, really.
It is. And so much of the world has a belief system that's been given to them by the controllers. So everything they look at, every event, is through the eyes that the controllers want. They want you viewing it from their perspective. And again, if we are waking up, we might stop trusting the mainstream media. We might stop trusting the papers like the Washington Post, New York Times, and the like. And we might start to even be suspicious of some of the smaller outlets. That's all a start. Because we have to learn how to discern things with our minds and our hearts. That's where it's at. And open up that pineal gland. It's so critical for knowing and no longer relying on just, sorting out through logic, facts, and figures.
I mean, this is the time where we are all starting to see beyond the veils, and there's like many veils. It's not like there's one. There's like a political veil where if you still believe in the system that there's some kind of justice, and if you believe that your vote really matters, I'm sorry, but that's a veil that you need to be able to see through. And there's different, then there's foods. You have to educate yourself on exactly what you're eating, because that could be another veil, and you need to break through that veil. There's many.
Yeah, I mean, there's still people that are absolutely, totally convinced that the fluoride in the water is absolutely necessary for their teeth health.
Right. No, it's not.
No, and for a fact, I haven't used anything fluoridated in well over a decade. Probably, closing in on 2 decades without anything fluoridated, and actually my teeth haven't been better. Then when I just switched to making my own toothpaste with coconut oil and a little bit of tea tree, a little bit of peppermint essential oil, put some cloves in there, some baking soda, and you're good to go. It's never been better, actually.
Well, when I was reading more about holistic dentistry, they go over the ingredients that are in toothpaste, and a lot of it is like detergents and stuff. You're putting that in your body.
Yeah, not to mention that fluoride
The
is a
fluoride is the worst
neurotoxin.
thing.
Yeah, it's a neurotoxin that the Nazis used to control people, to make them more docile. And it calcifies the pineal gland, because this is a war of consciousness. This is a war of consciousness, and it's a war full of spin. And sometimes even the good guys get caught up in the spin. Good guys, so to speak, in that, the ones that are obviously truly trying to fight to awaken the planet. But there's a lot of spin there. And yeah, the Kazakhstan crisis is a much bigger deal than the Western media is letting on. And of course, there's many different layers to this. Could this have been some of it actually paid for? Perhaps even by alphabet soup agencies like the C period I period A period, or F period B period I period, or other ones as well. Absolutely. There definitely could be a component to this. And ultimately, the protests and everything that went on, it ended up with Russia deploying 3,000 paratroopers in to help the Kazakh security forces, which were overrun. Interesting. So now this is something that the guides are pointing out. It's establishing a precedent of bringing in outside military forces, and when it breaks down to it's controller forces that are coming in to control the situation. There is a lot that you're going to see being splurged out there, and we recognize this is probably dangerous to bring up certain families. But yes, the Kazakh security chief was arrested for treason, and he was close friend with number 46's family.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, there's all sorts of these ties. When you get down to it, all the controllers are tied in together. Do all of them have the same level of knowledge and clearance? Not necessarily. There could be some differences there. And, again, these are people, these are beings, I should say, that are full of ego and are all ego-centered. So can they fight amongst each other? Can they backstab each other? Absolutely. This is kind of what they are based on. So you can have them, wanting to have more than other controller families or being at odds with one another. They're all in service to self.
Yep.
This is the way they operate. Yeah, they wouldn't have a problem. Whatever you want to say, being a tattletale on others, backstabbing others. It's just their nature.
It is. It's like a scorpion with its stinger. It's just its nature to sting. It can't help it.
Absolutely. So yes, the connections are deep. As we see, Kazakhstan's Minister of Internal Affairs details high level of organization amongst the rioters. So, was this completely a covert op by an alphabet soup agency? This is what it feels like they want us to believe.
It does, yeah.
Why would they want us to believe that? Well, again, they don't want people having power. And over here we see the U.S. believes Putin wants to restore the Soviet Union. All these countries are part of the power structure. Every country on Earth is part of the power structure. I was kind of hoping that little Costa Rica was getting out of it, but that's not the case with what we've seen down there with those dates from men.
No.
And I forget if it was Ecuador, too, I think, is following suit, which was, very sad because those were like 2 out of 4 countries I had high on my list to expat to when Cindy said, okay, I'm ready to get out.
Yeah, right. Now it's like, well, I don't know.
Now, here's 2 videos. This one's from Red Pilled, and it's talking about, as is this one, these are both up on Twitter, talking about the fact that this was not in reality necessarily, not that it didn't have components of, a covert CIA or FBI operation. This is truly the people being pissed and ticked. This is the people saying, yeah, no, we want change. We're not going to go any farther with this. We're not going to put up with this anymore. Now that sets a dangerous precedent for the controllers. They'd much rather have us think that it's, a covert operation of one of the alphabet soups trying to overthrow Kazakhstan, because militarily it would make a lot of sense. It's on the other side of Russia, and yeah, everything's focused on Ukraine. If all of a sudden there's another conflict over there, that would make perfect sense because it would divert the attention, divert the troops, and maybe it would stop Russian invasion of the Ukraine at some point, or at least delay it. But what's way more threatening to the controllers is the fact of people overthrowing the system, because the system is a global one, and it does, have control of the fine dining ware country. It does have control of Russia. It does have control of the U.S. All these countries. Again, this is a corporate game, a corporate shell game that's going on in so many ways. Look over here. No, look over here. No, look over here. Mm-hmm. But don't look at what's really happening. We don't want people being empowered. And again, until we recognize the totality of the control, we're still under their control. And that's why we do harp on the religious end of things as well. Because, again, so many wars have been started by, religious differences and one religious faction fighting another faction. Mm-hmm. And part of their plan for the Third World War is to set Christianity and Islam against each other. Using Israel as a trigger, and as well as others. This is all part of the bigger plan that's underway. And, so many people will say, see, look, the Bible said that this is going to happen. It's happening. So that means it's the creator of the universe. That means the Bible is divinely inspired. And, the reality is it could mean the exact opposite. It could mean that they're laying out the plans. This could be actually the dark ones telling you the plans ahead of time as well, because they want you to manufacture this reality. It's all about our perceptions and what we expect, because this world is made to respond to the observer. So if we are in a certain mindset and we think it's impossible to go against the quote-unquote will of God. God has ordained this because God wrote this down in a book. And of course, you have different takes on this from Islam and Christianity, each looking at the other, in a sense, as the potential adversary to meet in the Battle of Armageddon. Then really, again, when your controllers are all about creating the loosh that they actually feed off of, because they feed off of misery, they feed off of conflict, they feed off of anger and hatred and sorrow. So as long as we're always fighting and always divided, they're going to keep winning.
Right. So, I mean, I think it'll help when we all start to come to a level of acceptance in our day-to-day lives. Like if, the neighbors have this other belief system, and that's okay. They're supposed to explore, they're supposed to believe, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we came here to do. We came here to be that spark of source and explore whatever it is we wanted to explore, and not to be judged.
No, and again, and when we're judged with original sin, the whole concept that because you're born, you deserve eternal torment. That just is such a negative concept in the first place. So yeah, the best-selling book of all time is the Christian Bible. It's the best-selling book of all time. If we are in a system that's controlled by the adversary to humanity, do you think it would allow something that wasn't part of its program to have the most produced book ever made be something that exposed it?
Right. I mean, look at
That's just illogical.
It is. And look at the biggest news corporations. They're backed by who? anybody who is going to have any influence or is going to be put up on a pedestal for all to see, they're going to have the backing of that entity that starts with an I. I'll just leave it there.
And then we know the Quran is running a second. So again, there's something that must be in these, which is all about the controllers, is it not? Why would they allow it to be produced? Why would they allow billions of copies, enough copy for every person on the planet? Why would the rulers, the elite, these beings that we view as being part of the control system, why again would they swear in and have no problem swearing in, putting their hands on it? Whether it's a Obama or a Bush or a Clinton, or number 45 or number 46. They all had no problem swearing by it. No problem at all. So there must be something in there that serves the controller's interests. It's only logical.
Mm-hmm. And look how many small towns, big towns, look how many churches there are, and each one claiming to have the only truth. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely. Again, people are waking up, because the reality is we don't need any dogma. We just simply need what the true Yeshua was talking about, which is compassion and heart-centered living, opening up the heart chakra, uniting heaven and earth within ourselves. Again, the anointing is that of the awakened kundalini and pineal gland, so that the scales truly do fall from our eyes and we can see. That's knowing. A lot of people are knowing it's time to get out of the system. Nearly a quarter of workers plan to quit in 2022. And many of these people, and we know a ton, are simply kind of winging things. They're not putting themselves into massive amounts of debt. They're buying even properties and building homes, putting tiny homes on them. They're putting yurts on them. Some of them are just living out of tents and stuff. They're just doing whatever they can to get out of the system, because they recognize the system is a system of slavery, indentured servitude. This is how it works. So we should be trying to get ourselves out of the system as much as possible, because that's where our true power will lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then recognize that this is all part of their control grid, and they're always giving us. And sometimes they know what we're going to be, what a lot of people are going to be drooling about and saying, see, but still, a lot of times it's a distraction, because we'll be waiting and saying, okay, well, now the white hats are coming. Now the white hats are going to, arrest them all, and we're going to have Nasara, everybody's debts forgiven, and it's going to be wonderful. Don't worry, we don't really have to change things too much, just a little tweak here. No. The whole system has to collapse.
Mm-hmm.
It has to utterly collapse, because, again, the system is how they control us. They will sacrifice some of their own. Absolutely. They'd have no problem sacrificing some of their own. You might see some very, very famous, people that are in the headlines all the time, as we have seen some.
Mm-hmm.
One person that had his own island, right? Now, who knows? Maybe he's on another tropical island right now, and that's all an illusion. Very well could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, Cindy's saying it like she's got some info there.
Mm-hmm.
But what we want to share with you guys, it's all about the people waking up and the people saying, no, we're done with this. We're not going along with it. We're not buying in to any of your lies anymore, because that's what it all is. So we have a short clip we're going to share when we asked about the situation in Kazakhstan with the guides. And so these are our regular group of guides, which includes both Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of God, of Yeshua, we should say, and Yeshua himself, is often there as well. We have Lakshmi, we have Aset, we have White Buffalo Calf Woman, we have Ananda Mayima, and we have Kuan Yin. So again, these are beings that are from a variety of different backgrounds, but they are collective. We are here. We are so thankful and blessed.
Thank you for calling us. We are feeling that you are needing to understand information from different parts of your planet. What can we enlighten you on?
We were wondering what was happening in Kazakhstan. Was this truly a rebellion of the people overthrowing their government and their powers that be because of the vax mandates?
They are left with very little choice at this time. This is something that you should watch very closely and try to get confirmed information. These are the things that they will attempt around the world. These controllers are pushing for complete and total control, seeing how far they can push the human being until they push back, until they stand their own ground. We see that there have been many experiments using different chemicals in the food and the water to bring humans to a more complacent state where they do not demand any favors, they do not demand any rights, they simply accept what is put before them. The controllers have pushed them to this point where they must take what little control they have and use it to overthrow their government. Sources and information will not be completely reliable. They will also try to control this information. If you gauge and feel this information with your heart, you will be able to distinguish what is true coming out of this area and what is false. This is a template for the controllers to utilize and to replicate wherever they can, wherever they are allowed to. We are hoping you can state within your own belief system that you will remain free and sovereign and find ways to do this. We are not wanting anyone to suffer any violence nor bring harm to themselves. However, if you stand in your belief system that you are free and sovereign, this is the outcome you will receive. You must be very persistent with this belief, these energies that you extend outward beyond your body are the energies that will greet you in return.
I think it was about 2 years ago, I had a vision slash dream where I saw airbound troops coming into the United States from other countries. Is this what I saw? And is this what happened with Russia and those troops from other countries? I say companies because it really is a corporate world in so many ways. Is that what they were doing? The controllers were pulling in the military from other places to help put down the people's rebellion? And is that a possibility for the United States and European countries as well?
At this time, your collective belief system is set to accept such invasion. Your belief system is creating this push for freedom. The controllers will continue to push forward, doing whatever steps necessary to take control to the best of their ability. We ask that you stand in a space of peace. This will encourage the energies that are near you and around you to also hold a space for peace. This is part of your journey, part of your understanding in this lifetime. Your consciousness is wishing to be free and not allow others to control your soul. Many times moving from the darkness of the Kali Yuga, there are these struggles that will be very similar to what you described. It is important everyone holds a space for peace, that it will happen around you, near you, and allow this space to contain its own frequency of freedom. This is a collective endeavor. Ultimately, it seems that the people of the world that are inside of the militaries, the police forces, the political leadership, that they must choose true freedom for the masses and step out of it. Everyone must make the decision if they wish to be free. If their wish and their desire is freedom, this is what they will create. This world is receptive to your energies, your heart chakra. What it creates inside, it will create outside. The ones who desire freedom in the depths of their soul will find this freedom. Ultimately, I think many people are waking up to the realization that the controllers are the ones that brought the problem, the, for lack of a better word, plague upon the land in the first place in order to deliver the cure. These controllers you speak of have an understanding of consciousness, they have an understanding of how to create the reality around them. They are using these steps, these tools to remain in control. The majority collective is breaking free of this dream story time that they find themselves in. They are breaking free of this narrative that they are broken and they do not have freedom. This is where your struggle lies at this time.
Do you have any other advice you can share with us?
We wish to assist you in your understanding that you are free and you are not broken. We wish to give you the strength to walk this path of freedom, continue to move forward. We are a collective of energies here to assist you through these times. These are very difficult and confusing to many beings who feel that they have been utilized for the purposes of an elite force to manage their own reality. We want to bring you the understanding that it is now your turn to create your own reality. Moving forward with this is going to be very rewarding for your future.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. And again, that was our guides, and that was Aset, who's known to most of the world as Isis, speaking for the collective, which again includes the two Marys, Ananda Mayima, Kuan Yin, Lakshmi.
Mary, yeah. Oh, yeah, we said, yeah.
Yeah, and also Yeshua comes through often. So, again, it's a battle of consciousness. This is a battle of our minds and our souls. What will we accept, and what are we done with? What are we through with? Well, I think a lot of us are through with the lies and the illusions and are able to see right through it now.
Absolutely. We want something different. We want something new. We want something that's our own, something that we approve of, in our hearts, something that's acceptable. And we have to create that.
Yeah, I think the masses are waking up and they're starting to speak. No more lies. We can see right through you. And we're done with your overlordship. So it's just a matter of time before the entire globe sheds these parasites like fleas off a dog.
It's true. Yes.
So thank you guys so much for your support. Maintain your freedom, maintain your voice, speak out, wake up as many as possible. Please do make sure you are subscribed to both channels and share, share, share. It's all just a matter of time, but we can nudge it.
Yeah, let's nudge it.
Let's nudge it. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.